Simplified Khaos, episode 41.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Khaos.
Hey, wonderful friends. Welcome to Simplified Khaos. This is Jillian, and I'm with my co-host and husband, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? How's everyone doing today? We are doing fantastic. Jilly, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about our 5-year anniversary getaway.
Oh yeah. We just did an episode on how we love spending time apart from each other, but we also like spending time together as well. I would say love, not like
I suppose
love.
so.
Yes. So yeah, we are going to kind of recap the crazy 24 hours that we just had, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But before we get into that, as always, we're going to drop a little gratitude. So Jilly, there's a lot to be grateful for today, but what are you grateful for specifically?
Shit.
I know it's tough. There's just so much.
There is. Well, I guess I have to be grateful for my mom because she made our little romantic anniversary getaway possible. So without her, this would have never happened. So Mama Bird, Silver Fox, thank you. And I love you for being able to watch Lucille.
Yes, thank you so much.
Mama and Papa can get out and just have some
adult time.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm so grateful for my mom.
This podcast will be rated PG-13 today.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yes.
I don't know what we're going to be getting into, but I am excited.
Yeah.
PG-13.
It won't be R.
It won't be R.
I don't know. It could turn into R. Who knows? So, yeah. So many things to be grateful for, but I am grateful for you, Jilly.
For me?
Yeah.
Aw,
my partner in
shucks.
crime for the last 5 years, but even more so the last 7 years, and just kind of putting this weekend together, finding the Airbnb that we stayed at, and we'll talk a little bit more about the amazing dinner that we went to last night. But just for being there every step of the way, and just being an amazing partner, amazing wife, amazing mom. I can't. Of all the grateful things that, we have this weekend, you're on the top there. So I love you.
Damn it, Nick. I love you too, I guess.
Yeah, you guess. Yeah. I know.
So, that's very sweet.
You want to talk about this crazy 5-year anniversary?
It wasn't crazy.
It was crazy.
I mean, crazy good. Yeah. And I was telling Nick before, we were trying to decide what to podcast about this week. I said, I feel like I'm always trying to get something that's actionable and it's going to help our listeners. But really, I enjoy listening to podcasts that also share about their life.
Yes.
And human connection that's what we're all intrigued by. We're all social beings and we all are interested about everyone else's lives too, even though we're focused on our own. But I thought it'd be fun just to kind of share and get vulnerable about, just dive into our personal life and just talk about our trip, even though that's not... We're going to talk about simplifying getaways. It's just, we're going to talk about our trip we had and how awesome it was. Yeah. And everything we're doing has kind of leads up into, I guess, it culminates into when we go away, how, what we value and how we decide to live.
Yeah. And we have some great restaurant suggestions if you're in the Frederick, Maryland area. For sure. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that as well. So where do you want to start, Jilly?
I thought we would start when, as soon as our anniversary was on October 4th.
Yes, which is a Friday.
And I want to start the very beginning of that day. So the stroke of midnight. It was October 4th.
It was October 4th. I came up to bed a little after midnight, because I knew we can sleep in a little bit, even though sleeping in with the baby's not really an option. So... but, could be a little bit slower in the morning than we normally are. So I was watching playoff baseball and kind of fell asleep on the couch a little bit and then decided to make my way to bed.
All right. I think we should start with my point of view.
Well, yeah,
because
your point of view.
I woke up at like close to 1 a.m.
Yeah.
My stomach was all grumbling, and I went to the bathroom, was in there for a little bit, and I was like, something did not want to be inside of me.
Yeah.
And that wasn't Nick.
Damn. Good drop
So-
in. Usually I have those kind of drop-ins. That was nice.
You're welcome. My stomach woke me up, and I went in the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, that was interesting. And I get back to bed thinking that, Nick's asleep, which if any time that does happen, it doesn't happen often, but I come back in bed thinking that he's asleep, and all of a sudden I hear, "Did you just shit your brains out too?" I lost it.
She lost her shit.
The most
literally.
romantic
Again,
thing my husband could have said on our anniversary.
The first thing that I
first
said to
thing,
you
the
on our
first
anniversary.
question.
Well,
Oh my God, it was
the
awesome.
reason why I asked that, because I had been in there literally 5 minutes before you were in there, and I thought that I had woke you up getting back to bed. So I thought you were just getting up to go pee, because you tend to get up and go pee when you're woken up at night.
True.
And I was like, okay, well, she's been in there for quite a while. She must have had the same reaction to whatever we ate for dinner
I think it was
that I
lunch.
did. It may have been lunch too. I think we've pinpointed down to 2 possible suspects.
I think it was the broccoli slaw that my mom bought, perhaps.
Because somebody else had the same thing we had for dinner, and there was no ill effects.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was poop is so funny, man.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was pretty
gotta love
romantic.
it.
Yeah. We both went to the bathroom like 3 times.
Man, that was bad.
We were cleaned out before we went on our getaway.
Yeah, which was actually probably a good thing for all the food that we ate.
True,
On our
very
trip.
true,
But
yeah.
no, nothing to get a 5-year anniversary started off better than a good poop story. That's how you know you love somebody, that you can drop a joke like that.
Yes.
And I just kind of kept the jokes going for about 5 minutes after she got to bed.
And-
had to get the devil out of her and everything like that. So
And I don't know if any other women can relate, but when Nick and I, even after we were married, I was very self-conscious about
You
pooping.
were.
That I would bring in my cell phone and play Pandora music because I didn't want him to hear anything. And now it's like, I could give a shit. Drop the
Literally.
bombs.
Drop it.
Drop the kids off the pool. Whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. It's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Cannonball.
Hey, it's natural. We all do it.
But yeah,
Some more
so
frequently than others.
that was the lovely start to our anniversary, really. We went back to bed eventually after giggling.
And then both woke up in the morning and did the same thing all over again.
The same thing. But it was very nice. We had a very nice we had a slow morning with
We
the
did have
family.
a very slow morning.
Got to make some fresh ground coffee. Got to walk outside with Lucille. She went in some in the sprinklers
yeah,
when
it
you
was
set
watering
that
the
up.
lawn. Yeah, we've got new grass seed down. It's that time of the year, so out early in the morning, watering the lawn.
I decided to make French toast,
Yes, which was
which doesn't
amazing.
happen that often.
No.
And it was really easy and really fun.
Yes, it was hit the spot. Started the day off well.
We had a lot of sourdough bread, so I wanted to make sure nothing went to waste. And then we packed our stuff.
Yeah.
And now that we are very intentional with our wardrobe and what to wear, and we don't really take a lot of things just in case, we managed to pack all of our stuff in one nice little bag.
One nice little
together.
bag, yeah.
And yeah, we headed towards Frederick.
We did. So yeah, we left. We wanted to leave around 10 o'clock. We left a little bit after that. I had some laundry to finish up, and then we also had a friend that stopped by to see your sister
Yeah.
and the new
Oh, yeah.
baby.
Shout out, Jen.
It was kind of a nice chill morning. So we got started on the road about 10:30, and we headed off to
Frederick.
Frederick.
But
But I was talking about the park.
I know you wanted me to say it because I always mess it up when I'm pronouncing it. Katakin?
Yeah, that's good.
Did I say it right?
Katakin.
Katakin.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to go on a hike before we checked into our Airbnb. So we headed to Katakin Mountain Park, and we went for a hike, and we headed towards Cunningham Falls,
Yeah.
which was about 3 miles. Took us about maybe 2 hours.
It was about 2 hours. We got to the park around, it was probably a little bit before noon, so about 11:30 or so. Then we got on our way. We got on the trail, walked to the falls, and when we got to the falls, there was like this little boardwalk that you walk up to it, and it takes you to the base of the falls. And it was a nice view, but it's not the best view. So we were walking back on the boardwalk, and we spotted this trail that comes off the side of it, and that trail takes you actually to the falls.
And I don't know if it's a legit trail because there's all these signs saying don't go on the waterfall, don't go on the rocks, let nature heal. But the path seemed pretty legit.
It was definitely legit. I think they don't want you at that bottom part.
Maybe.
I think that's where a lot of stuff, yeah.
We bouldered up and climbed up and got really close. Usually where we were sitting, where we climbed up, that's usually like the water's there. But because we haven't had rain in a long time, there was not much of a waterfall, but there was still some. But it was pretty cool that we got to go where normally the water is and kind of camp out and hang out up there for a little bit.
It was actually kind of funny when we were walking on the trail. We passed a guy who works for the park, and he's like, "Hey, where you guys heading?" And we're like, "We're going to Cunningham Falls." He's like, "Oh, be prepared for disappointment." And we were like, "Oh man!" And it brought flashbacks to a trip when we went to Sonoma, and before we started to go to the different vineyards to try different wines, we were like, "Hey, let's check out this waterfall." It's at the top of where our trip was. We were going to start as far north as we wanted to do, and then come back down towards where we were at. So we're like, "Yeah, let's start the day off for this waterfall." We hiked down this hill it wasn't too terribly far. It was like a half mile. We hiked down this hill, and there's this sign that says, "There's the waterfall." Well, we didn't see shit. There was absolutely no water whatsoever. You heard a trickle, but there was no water. You couldn't see anything. And, we get to the first vineyard. We're like, "Yeah, we went to this waterfall and, there was nothing there." She's like, "Yeah, it's dry season."
I think what was even funnier is that there was literally a sign that said waterfall with an arrow pointing to it, and there was nothing there.
I was like, "Is this some sick joke?" But yeah, no, it was dry season, so...
Yeah, we actually saw a waterfall.
There was actually a waterfall there.
Yes.
I was having a little bit of a flashback. I was like, "Man, what if we get there and there's absolutely no water coming down?" But no, there was water coming down, so it was cool. So we stayed there for about, like Jill said, 2 hours, and then
had a little snack.
Yeah, had a little snack packed with us. Nothing substantial,
but
it's
like
got us through.
Yeah,
and we were like, let's go to lunch now. But we didn't want to eat something overly filling because we had a very special dinner planned.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure that we at least had our stomachs coated so that we weren't hangry by the time we got to this.
Hangriness is a real thing.
It is.
Yeah. So
especially with my wife.
we parked the car in Frederick and we headed to the wine cafe.
Yeah.
Which is right on Carroll's Creek. It's very pretty.
The wine kitchen.
The wine kitchen, sorry.
The wine kitchen on the creek.
On the creek. Thank you very much, sir. And we sat outside because it was a gorgeous day.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
It was like basically 71 degrees, slight breeze, no humidity. Perfect day in Maryland.
And I had this refreshing and delicious gin fizz.
Yes. And
I normally don't drink during the day, but I was like, F it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a gin fizz.
You did.
At 2:00.
Yeah. and I had a
so
Boulevardier with bullet rye, which was delicious. It's a different variation, different rye that I usually use, but everything else was the same. It was delicious.
Their cocktails were fantastic. And if you have been listening for a while, we are cocktail snobs.
Yeah.
So we definitely approve their cocktails, and we decided to split their beet salad, and they had this beet foam of some sort that they put on it.
Insane.
With like soil on it, and it was phenomenal.
This is one of the best beet salads I've ever had.
You don't eat beets normally. You're like, they taste like earth.
I remember the first time I had a beet, I was like, "Man, this tastes like just pulled it out of the ground." I was like, "I'll just go outside and have a handful of dirt." But no, this beet salad was insane.
It's unlike any beet salad I've ever had.
Yeah.
And we also split their Rosetta Farms burger.
Yeah.
And damn, it was melt in your mouth.
It was
burger.
one of the best burgers I've ever had.
It was pretty high up there.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely recommend that salad and that burger if you're ever in that area.
Yes. Yeah. And sit outside if you can, if it's a nice day. I mean, that was just so good. And the nice thing about that place is we told our server that, hey, we're just going to split the salad. We're going to split the burger. They actually split the salad for us. They actually split the burger for us. I mean, they went the extra mile. So, shout out to the wine kitchen on the creek because that shit was awesome.
So after that, we finished up and we took our time since we did have about, 5 hours to kill until we had dinner.
5 hours.
So we took our time and then we decided to head to a coffee shop and get a latte because that's what we do. We get good coffee and we stroll city streets when we can. So we stopped at Nola Cafe and we both got lattes, and we strolled around, and I said, why don't we head to the Airbnb just to see where it's at? And then we can move the car later. So we walked around, we found our Airbnb, cute little place. We had the whole basement to ourselves. It was newly renovated.
Yeah.
It had a very nice bed, a little area where there was like a kitchen, and the bathroom was phenomenal. It reminded me,
cool.
It was very spa-like.
Yeah.
It had like 2 shower heads, a bench, and even it had I don't know if you wash your hair. I normally don't wash my hair when I take trips because I have a lot of hair, and I'm like, I don't know how the drain's going to be. I don't know what their shampoo's like, but I didn't bring any shampoo or any of that. And they had, generic shampoo, and then they had like a really nice natural shampoo, and I totally used that, and it was phenomenal.
No, I did not wash my hair.
I lathered that shit, and I was just sitting in there, and I was going back between hot and cold in both shower heads. It was like heaven for me. So yeah, we
checked it out, and then we were like, you know what? We need to walk off this lunch. So we ended up walking. So what's the nice thing about Frederick is they have this little creek that kind of goes through the middle of downtown with the nice walkways on both sides.
It's real pretty.
Yeah, we ended up walking to the park, and I don't remember the name of the park that we went to, but
I don't either.
There was some like big like team building event going on there. Like there's just these big blow up things, people running around. There was people attached to skis that were trying to walk around this baseball field. And so it looked like some kind of big team building event that was going on out there, which was just kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, we just kind of sat down in the grass and with our lattes and just kind of chilled there for a little bit. We're like, I wonder what is this all about? We picked a nice little spot.
Behind us was a dog jumping in the creek, chasing after a stick that his owner was throwing in there. And then 4:30 struck, and they were moving to the last event, and they were like, this is the last event before the pizza eating contest.
Pizza pie
eating contest. And I was like, what? How do I get in this pizza? Wait, I've got dinner. I can't do this.
I kind of wish we would have watched, but it's funny because I think pre-Lucille, we probably would have just strolled the creek and then we kept walking and then maybe have just went back. But since having Lucille and then since going to Copenhagen, what's the word I'm looking for? I really appreciate a good picnic now.
Yeah.
Ever since we went to Copenhagen with Lucille, like we had to stop and picnic everywhere because she needed to, stretch her legs and move around and explore. And now that even though we didn't have Lucille, I always want to like go to a park and say, hey, can we just chill here for a little bit and just enjoy the scenery instead of just walking through it with their coffees and then going to a different place? I find myself being okay with going slower and just stopping and looking around and just kind of soaking in the environment, especially parks. So I definitely have seen that change in us, even without having Lucille, how we have slowed down when we do stroll or we take it in a little bit longer, and very appreciative of that.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, after we picnicked for a little bit and then we headed back, and
time to get ready for the big show.
Yeah, we got all dolled up. And we headed out to the restaurant at Potomac Farm. And I found this restaurant very randomly. I was Googling farm-to-table restaurants in Maryland, and it popped up a long time ago when I was searching. And I was very intrigued because it's very, like, the restaurant is literally on the farm, and their menu changes according to whatever they're growing and what's in season. And I realized it was very hard to get reservations.
Yeah.
And we're not normally in the Frederick area often. So I told Nick for our anniversary, let's go away to Frederick. Just the main reason was because I wanted to go to this restaurant.
And it's spelled Pawtomack. So it's like Potomac or something like that.
Is it? I thought it was Patow.
Yeah.
My bad. You're right. Okay. But yeah, so we go up this very steep dirt hill. It was so hidden that you definitely
turn. Even though the GPS told me to turn, it was like one of those Michael Scott situations where, do I really turn here
into the water?
It's telling me to turn here. But no, it's just like, you know what? I'll just go back and we'll drive a little bit. We were a couple minutes early anyway.
So we get there and it's a gorgeous restaurant. It didn't even really look like a restaurant. It looked like a couple houses like together. Yeah.
Yeah.
We sat in what appeared to be like a greenhouse, and then their
rustic
kitchen.
Looking greenhouse.
and their kitchen was in a different building, but it was all lit up and they had this big patio, but it was too cold for the patio to be open. And they had like a little veranda area, and it's a beautiful view of the bridge that we just were on. I don't even know the name of that bridge, the bridge to go into Virginia.
It was Route 15 going over the Potomac River.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it goes from Maryland into Virginia or vice versa, just depending on which direction you're going.
And the sun was just setting because our reservations were at 7. So
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the views for long, but it was beautiful when we got
gorgeous,
there.
yeah.
And we get seated, and the menu is in front of us. It's printed out, and on it says, happy anniversary, Jill and Nick. It's very customized.
Yeah.
And we see our 8 courses.
Yeah.
8 courses.
Yeah,
So
it's like you don't choose anything. It's like, here's what we're serving you this evening.
this place is not an everyday place. It was about $1.10 a plate.
Yep.
Totally worth it.
100%.
Holy moly. So you definitely have to be open-minded, and your taste buds have to be ready for new things.
Yes.
And luckily we both are not picky eaters, and we'll eat anything.
For the most part, I won't eat pickles.
Yeah, you won't eat pickles.
But
And
yeah, I'll eat almost anything that people serve to me.
I want to say that this was from beginning to finish an orgasmic food experience, and it was 8 courses of farm fresh food innovation. I couldn't even begin to repeat what we had because what they did with the ingredients was so out of the box that I couldn't even really describe even what it tastes like, or
We wouldn't be able to do it justice at all.
No. And they even gave us the menus to take home as like a souvenir, which I thought was cute.
Yeah.
But dang, that place was phenomenal. From the service to the food to the little cards they give you that explain what specific ingredient they use and what the chef did with it. Like, they're all about educating you as well as, making sure you're having a great dining experience.
Yeah. I mean, when each course came out, like 3 or 4 people would bring it out to your table, and then they would sit on
Synchronized.
there,
Yes,
and
it was
then the
beautiful.
one person would stay while the other people left, and they would explain the dish and, what was the inspiration for it. The other thing that what I really liked is that if we had questions, they were willing to like kind of explain it and really get in the deep. Like, they knew their shit. Like, they knew everything from like where the pottery was done and everything like that. So it was just really nice that they had a holistic understanding of everything that their restaurant, from the silverware to the pottery to just the food and how it's prepared. Well done.
I agree.
It was insane. Again, I'm using that word, insane. It was awesome.
No, it was. And it was like a 2.5 hour experience.
Yeah. And, one of the things you can do is you can get a wine pairing with the food, and we actually chose not to do that. Again, we love our cocktails, and she said it would ended up being about 2.5 to 3 glasses of wine. We knew we were eating a lot of food, so we were like, that could be a little filling. So you had 1 cocktail, I had
did.
2. And
Our cocktails were delicious
they
too.
were fantastic. Yeah, they did a great job with those. So I mean, just everything. Like, if you ever wanted to like just splurge and have, it was more than just a meal. It was an entire experience.
And you have to, I really appreciated every single ingredient they gave us and how they delivered it and how it was transformed into something new.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't go there with an Applebee's palate. You have to be you got to go there appreciating where the food comes from. And that's kind of what makes it taste better too. It's just knowing that the hard work and that went into making this food is now on our plate, and all the effort it took. And even the servers, like you said, it was almost like a synchronized dance when they would come around you and then just deliver the entertainment, which is the food around us. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great. I don't even know what else I can say about it besides it was just amazing.
Just to go there.
Yeah.
If that sounds intriguing to you. We used to watch The Chef's Table before we got rid of Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, like, this place reminded me of something that would be on Chef's
easily.
Table.
I mean, it's exactly what I think that they're going for, and it wouldn't surprise me if that place was actually on a Chef's Table at some point in the near future if they continue to do that documentary. It was just that great.
Yes, and hopefully we can, with our intentional budgeting, we can totally go to this place maybe again. It's definitely a once a year place, not a twice a year.
Yeah, or maybe a once every 5 years, maybe our 10-year anniversary.
That's true. Hopefully they're still open. But it was a beautiful, wonderful experience,
Yeah.
and it was funny. Nick kept saying, well, I think we both assumed like, yeah, we're gonna get it on.
Yeah.
It's our anniversary.
We're definitely gonna have
We're
sex
away.
tonight.
Brown chicken, brown cow, and we got back to our Airbnb, and we were so full.
I couldn't move. I was just like, you know what?
We're just
Let's
gonna
just brush our teeth and go to bed, and let's put our fat bellies next to each other and
cuddle.
and just cuddle.
It was pretty nice.
Which was nice. We usually have dogs sleeping between us, so it
Yeah.
was actually nice to cuddle.
And we were in a
fall
smaller
asleep.
bed. We have
were
a
in
king size
smaller-
bed
yeah.
at home, and we actually got to touch each other
Yeah.
and snuggle for a little bit and just say how full we were, and then we
Yeah.
both passed out.
But there was no sex happening because even though in my mind I was like, yeah, this is happening tonight. I was like, when I got back, I was like, I just cannot move at all.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was a nice sleep.
it was. You
Yeah.
slept in till about
I slept to 8.
8, and
Yeah.
I woke up at 5:30
Yeah.
like a spring chicken. And I got some Instagram posts in, I got some good content reading in, and I read some Airbnb magazines that were there, and I took an amazing spa shower, and it was awesome. I could
Yeah.
just took my time and enjoyed the space and the time alone to just be and watch my adorable husband sleep
Yeah.
soundly. I'm glad you got to sleep in, because
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
No, not anymore. And I just didn't realize it was that late. Like we were in a basement, so it's pretty dark down there. And
It had a window, but
it had
we
a window.
shut the
Yeah, so I mean, I just had no concept of what time it was. I woke up and was like, "Damn, 8 o'clock already," which was nice because then we had an hour until the breakfast place that we wanted to go to opened.
Yeah, so the breakfast place we went to, I've been here before, and I told Nick, like, we've got to go here. And this is where we got our lattes the previous day, which was Cafe Nola. Cafe Nola is the shit. They have amazing coffee. I even bought a bag of beans since I was like, hey, we don't even have coffee at home, so I'm going to buy a bag of beans while we're here after breakfast. But yeah, we went there and they have a lot of different flavored types of lattes
Yeah.
too. If you just don't like a regular latte, like mine was fig and honey, which was decadent. And we both got the same breakfast that I pretty much told him, like, this is what you need to get.
She's like, "This is what you need to get," and I was like, I read it and I was like, "Yeah, I need to get this. This sounds delicious."
It was a hash with white potatoes, sweet potatoes, poached eggs, hollandaise, kale, chorizo,
Chorizo was
onions.
awesome.
The only difference is I got my hollandaise sauce on the side because I really don't need hollandaise sauce. Oh, they had a salsa verde on it too.
There was a salsa verde on
And
it.
it was so filling. I mean, I probably should have stopped maybe a little bit at the end, but I'm going at it.
Yeah.
So we had a very nice
Well, we
slow
burned it off pretty
breakfast.
quickly afterwards because we took a little walk and it was 44 degrees and both of us did not bring appropriate clothes for the weather.
I was okay. I had a cardigan.
You had a cardigan on, which you're still wearing,
I am.
and I had a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah, so it was a brisk morning. It
it
was
was
like,
brisk.
hey, fall's here. Just wanted to let you know. Wasn't like this yesterday.
Which is
but
about time because I've been dying for fall. Just didn't really I didn't check the weather forecast for today, which is really unlike me.
it is. You're
Yeah,
always prepared.
usually.
Nick. You're always prepared.
So yeah, we had a little stroll, and then we headed back to the Airbnb, cleaned up the place, which we didn't trash it at all. So it was a very easy cleanup.
We're not really the trashing kind of people.
No, we're not rock stars anymore. We're past that life. And headed back home.
We did.
The 55-minute ride back home. And we pulled a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, so on the way home, Nick just looks at me and says, hey, do you want to do a Kramer? And I'm like, what do you mean do I want to do a Kramer? Like, Kramer does a lot of crazy shit on Seinfeld. And then you proceeded to say,
I was like, well, according to my GPS, we have, what was it, like 33 miles left to get home. And my gas tank says we have 35 miles left of gas. I was like, do you want to see if we can coast all the way home before which we have a Wawa right by our house, which is where we get gas. I was like, do you want to see if we can make it all the way back without running out of gas? And she's like, I'm game if you are. So
That's pretty funny.
we coasted to town on fumes, as people say.
we're so rebellious.
But we did make it to the Wawa with 6 miles to spare when all said and done. So yeah, I mean that kind of really, wrapped up the trip. We got back to the house.
Oh, and you, for some reason, because at Cafe Nola, we were listening to a lot of music that I listened to in high school,
Oh yeah, they
music
were
that you listened to in
playing some
college.
old school stuff. Yeah,
It was like punk, like Blink-182, Story of the Year, all this music that I used to listen to in high school. And Nick said, he started talking about Story of the Year and how I was like, I used to see them in concert in DC. And he said, well, they had another CD. So didn't the CD we listened to on the way home?
Yeah, that was their second album that we
Yeah,
listened to.
so
But you'd only listened to their first one ever.
It just felt like I was going down memory lane. It was very nostalgic, like listening to a band that I listened to in high school and listened to a CD I never heard. So it was just fun.
Yeah. So that was a good trip back. And then, we got home and Lucille was walking with her grandfather down the driveway and, just being
Such
cute
a
as
sight
ever.
to see when you come home.
Oh, my goodness.
I miss that little girl.
Yeah. So we had a lovely day today with her catching up. She's just amazing.
I was telling Nick, like our trip was almost perfectly 24 hours from start to finish. And it was the best 24-hour like reset trip for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't too far, but far enough. And it was filled with like everything we value, from good food to good cocktails to good coffee to nature to hiking and walking, and then just the pleasure of great company and conversation. And it's everything that
covered all the bases there, hon.
Everything that we wanted, like everything we value and everything that we're doing now intentionally and purposefully it was just all wrapped in a little gift with a nice bow. And it was just so magical.
It was. You want to do it again?
We have to wait. We got a budget for that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
we spent some moolah, but it was worth every penny.
Definitely. So yeah, as far as resources go, we will list the different places that we went to on the show notes page.
Sure.
Because if you guys are in that area, you definitely need to check out those places. If not all of them, one or two of them. So we'll have those recommendations in the show notes. Any take action, Jilly?
I did. So kind of the little lesson that I learned from this is just the joy of slowing down.
I'm awesome.
Yeah, Nick's awesome, in case you didn't know. So just to slow down and really enjoy your home state. I think sometimes we get in that mindset that we always want to travel out of state.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot to see in the world, but I think sometimes we forget and appreciate the state we live in, and just to be a tourist in your home state and just to really look around, because Frederick is one of those places that you could drive by and never go there, but it was really cool to just slow down and stop and enjoy that little town and just see what it had to offer, and all the hiking and nature and parks and restaurants that I had no idea were in that little area. Was just it was just a gem.
Sometimes the greatest places are right in your own backyard, so to say. So
it's very true.
Yeah.
So I'll dive right into the quote, because
quote of the day, Jilly.
I don't know who says this, but it just made me think of it. The grass is greener where you water it.
Well,
so
that is true.
Just thinking
That's
about
why I'm watering my grass.
That's true. Just thinking about relationships, our home, myself, my family. It's just, you don't have to get bigger and better. It's use what you have and just appreciate what you have. And that's what makes it so awesome, is that, what you have is just as good as anywhere else. It's all about your mindset.
100%.
How you look at it.
Absolutely. Good call, Jilly.
Sounding really cliche, but
hey, sometimes you need to be cliche to explain things.
I guess so, Nick.
Yeah.
How long was this episode?
About 34 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah, we did a good job. We're staying steady in that 30 to 35 minute range.
We did.
Yeah. But we want to thank you all for listening. We hope you got some great laughs out of this podcast, and more importantly, some good food suggestions for if you're ever in the Frederick area. But again, thank you all for listening. We love you so much, and we will talk to you again next week.
See you later, guys.
Hey, folks. We made a mistake.
We were pretty idiotic.
Yeah. Not our best shining moment.
I think this is like our first blooper.
A little blooper reel.
Post episode.
Yeah. You thought we were leaving, but we're coming back with more.
Yeah, so the restaurant we went to is not Potomac. It's just Potomac. They just spell it differently, which made me phonetically want to say it differently, because that is how my teacher brain works.
So it was what? Patowmack.
We wanted to make sure we got it right, and we will also link it in the show notes. But yeah, we really butchered the spelling and the pronunciation, so sorry, the restaurant of Potomac Farm.
Yes. Check it out, folks. Anyways, we are really finished this time. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later, guys.
We want to thank everybody for listening today. Please be sure to subscribe and sign up to receive notifications so you know when the next episode is live. If you like today's episode and know someone who could benefit from the topic we covered, please share it with them. And if you have any suggestions for us or want to chime in on today's topic, you can email us at simplifiedchaospodcast@gmail.com, and that's chaos with a K, or send us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time.